Hi, guys. The next few weeks, we're going to be talking about God, or who is God. Sorry. But before we can answer that completely, we need to start learning that God is real. I want you to think about something that's strange or surprising to you that maybe you have watched or seen or noticed. I can think of one time that I was a passenger in a car and we're driving down the road and there's a car in front of us and there's a deer running down this little bit of a hill and he's obviously going to cross the road, and I think he's going to get hit by the car in front of us. So I kind of braced myself for that to happen, and the deer just like lunges over the vehicle in front of us and then crosses the road safe and sound. I was like, whoa. Okay, I saw it with my own eyes, so I know it was real. It got my attention. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Something that God did to get Moses' attention to prove that he was real. But before we know something's real, we have to have evidence of something being real. So I'm going to give you guys a challenge here, 30 seconds for you to find evidence that someone in your family or that's with you is real. So run around your house, grab things of evidence to show that they are real. So I'm going to set my timer here. Let's see here. Okay. Timer. Whoa. Okay, 30 seconds on my timer, guys, to prove that someone is real. I don't have a family member here, so I'm going to prove that my dog, Rizzo, is real, okay? 30 seconds. Here we go, guys. Go find your evidence. Ooh, I found something. A bone. This bone is evidence that my dog is real. Oh, I found something else, guys. Right here. A picture. This picture proves that my dog is real. And then one other thing. Come here. Oh, my 30 seconds is up. But this also proves that my dog Rizzo is real. It's easy to prove that something is real. Look at him, isn't he cute? It's easy to prove that something is real when it's standing right in front of you, like your family member, or when you're holding it in your arms, like I was just doing with my dog. You can see them, you can touch them, you can hear them. But what evidence do we have that God is real? Not quite the same evidence that we have as our family members or our dog that's right there with us, right? Okay, I hope I did that right, you guys. Oh well. Anyway, so it's easy to prove that something is real when you're holding it or standing in front of it, but we're going to look at some evidence to prove that God is real. And we're going to look at an encounter that Moses had with God, and it was a lot of evidence to prove that God was real to Moses, and that way we know that he is real. So it all started with Moses seeing a bush on fire, like burning, and the bush wouldn't like burn up. Like when you guys are at a bonfire, you watch the logs and they burn, or the pallets, whatever you're burning, and they burn up, they turn to ashes, and the fire ends. But this bush was burning and it would not burn up. No ashes. It never stopped. So Moses went a little bit closer to see what was going on. And that's what we kind of do when we get curious about something, when it's surprising or strange to us, like we get a little closer. And that's what I was doing when that deer like jumped over the car in front of me. I was like leaning forward, like, really? What? Okay, it got my attention. And that's what happened with this bush. It got Moses's attention. So he went a little bit closer to see what was going on. And this is what Moses heard. Hearing is evidence. Exodus chapter 3, verse 4 and 6. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Okay. Where is 4? Okay. When the Lord saw that Moses had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush. He said, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. Do not turn around, or no, do not get any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then God said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. So how does this show that God is real to us? It shows us, it doesn't. Oh my goodness, you guys. How does it show us that God is real? It's because God not only called Moses by name, Moses, but he also identified himself. I am the God of your father. And so we hear our family members and we hear our pet, but compare that to how well we hear God in our lives. It's hard to hear him the same way, but we have evidence in his word that he speaks because he spoke to Moses. And maybe he doesn't always speak to us in a voice that we hear, but he speaks to us through his word, his Bible, guys. He speaks through other people, our pastor, our parents, our friends. He speaks through his creation, and he speaks into our feelings, into our hearts and our minds, especially when we're praying to him. He's for real. He speaks to our hearts. And I love that part the best. We know something is real also, not just by hearing it, but by touching it. And we can't touch God, but God asked Moses to partner with him. And that's kind of like touching. So let's look into that a little bit more. God asked Moses to partner with him to free his people from slavery. In Exodus chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, this is what it says. I'm so bad at finding these. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we are. So I have come down to rescue them. This is God speaking. Rescue them from the land of Egypt, the land of the Egyptians, and bring them up out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me. That's God saying he's heard his people, the Israelites, crying out to him. So he said, now their cry has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now, go, Moses. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. So Moses didn't get to touch God, but he did get to work with him. And that's as close as touching somebody. Kind of like when you work with your family or your friends on a project, say in the yard or in the house, or at school, even though we're not at school yet, but hopefully we will be. You're partnering with them and they're doing their part, you're doing your part, and that's how you know they're real, because their part's getting done and so is yours, right? You don't have to touch them to know that they are real. Another way that we have evidence that something is real is that we see it. I'm going to play a little game with you guys, and I'm going to hold up a picture, and I want you to write down everything that you remember in that picture. I'm going to hold it up for 10 seconds, and then I'll put it down, and we can write down all the things we remember. If you need to pause this to go get a pencil or a piece of paper, a pen, crayon, whatever, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait a few seconds for the fast people. So go ahead and get what you need if you want to participate in this, okay? I got my pencil, I got my picture, and I got some paper here. So I'm ready. Are you guys ready? All right, I'm going to show you collection 1 for 10 seconds, okay, guys? So here we go. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, write down what you remember seeing in that picture. And if you can't spell it, it's okay. No one's going to see it or grade it. Or you can even just draw a picture of it yourself if you have time. Okay. On that picture, I remembered this. I remembered a bike, pizza, a phone, milk, ball, and crayons. Okay, so I missed the laptop. Oh, you can't see it. The laptop, the camera, the microwave, the books. What else did I miss? Is that it? I knew I'd remember pizza because I love pizza. All right, now we're going to do another picture, you guys. Are you ready? 10 seconds to look at this next picture and to see what we remember on this one, okay? This one's different. So you ready? Here you go. Let me see. Can you see it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Write down what you remember seeing in that picture, guys. Oh. And again, if you can't spell it, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't even have to write it down. If you can just remember in your head. Okay. Okay. What do you remember from that one? I remember a spider, a snake, fire, bee, pizza, a shark, and a shot or a needle, however you wanted to call that. Let's see, what did I miss? Let's see, I missed the books again. I guess I'm not a fan of books. Did I get the snake? What else did I miss? Crayons? I missed crayons this time. Oh, and a tornado or whatever that is. I think it's a tornado or a whirlwind of some kind. Why did we remember the things that we did remember? Because they got our attention. Just like God got Moses' attention and he saw the burning bush. Yeah. These things got our attention, mostly because I don't like spiders. I love pizza. Don't like snakes, but I don't like spiders even more. Bees, not a fan of fire, but it's kind of pretty sometimes at a bonfire. And sharks, they're kind of scary, but they're interesting. So those things got our attention, and that's why we remembered them and were able to write them down or draw them, whatever. And that's what the burning bush was to Moses. It was a way that God got his attention. And later, God did other things and gave other evidences that he was real. Like he turned Moses's staff into a snake, and then he parted a river for them to walk through, and much, much more in this story. Moses didn't ever get to see God, but he saw a lot of miraculous signs that God was real. That was evidence that he was real. We're going to play another quick game. Let's see here. I think there we go. And this one is going to give you facts about an animal, and you have to decide what facts are real. It's kind of just a fun game, guys. I enjoyed it, so I hope you will too.
Welcome to the game, Fact or Fiction, the game show where facts fly and fiction fizzles. We'll show you 3 statements. 2 are true, they are facts, but 1 is fiction, not true. Can you tell which is which? Let's find out. For our first round, we're looking at koalas. Which statement about these fun furry friends is fiction? 1, koalas sleep 10 hours a day. 2, they have fingerprints like humans. 3, koalas weigh up to 30 pounds. It's time to vote, and here's how you do it. If you think the first statement is fiction, hold up 1 finger. If you think statement 2 about fingerprints is fiction, hold up 2 fingers. If you think statement 3 is made up, hold up 3 fingers. Ready? Vote now. Statement 1 is fiction. 10 hours of sleep a day might seem like enough to you, but koalas sleep closer to 22 hours. Wow! For round 2, we're considering...
Wow, guys, did you hear that? 22 hours? That only gives you 2 hours in a day to have fun, to play. That's not enough time. I'm glad I'm not a koala. Back to the game. Sorry.
Considering a friend we usually find underfoot. Snails. Which of these 3 statements is fiction? Hold up either 1, 2, or 3 fingers to vote. 1. Snails can sleep for 3 years. 2. Snails live about 6 months. 3. Snails are nocturnal, meaning they're often active at night. Vote now. Ready? The answer that's fiction is number 2. Snails can live far longer than 6 months. In the wild, they live 2 to 5 years. And in captivity, some have lived up to 15 years. Hey, a snail would make a great pet. It would live a long time, not eat much, and if you take it for a walk, it won't run away.
There you go, guys. If you don't have a cat or a dog and you want a pet, ask your parents for a snail.
For round 3, let's go big and see what we know about elephants. Which of these statements is fiction? Number 1, elephants can jump only 5 inches. Number 2, elephants use mud as sunscreen. Number 3, elephants' tusks never stop growing. Okay, everyone, vote now. The statement that's fiction is number 1. Elephants may be able to do a lot of things, but they can't jump. Now let's slow things down and spend a few moments with sloths. Number 1. It takes about 2 weeks for sloths to digest a meal. 2. Sloths spend 90% of their life hanging upside down. Number 3. Sloths sleep only 3 hours a day. Has everybody voted? Number 3 is pure fiction. Sloths actually sleep nearly 18 hours a day. For round 5, let's waddle on over to some penguins. Which statement about our penguin pals is fiction? Number 1, penguins don't live at the North Pole. Number 2, penguins can drink salt water. Number 3, penguins, like chickens, can only fly 50 feet. Time to vote. And the answer is number 3. The fact is, penguins can't fly at all, but they're great swimmers. Let's move on to cattle. Which statement is fiction? Number 1, bulls are angered by the color red. Number 2, cows can smell some odors up to 6 miles away. Number 3, 350 udder squirts made 1 gallon of milk. Show your vote. Forget all those stories about bulls being angry when they see red. Cattle can't even see the color red. For this final round, let's sneak a peek at giraffes. Which statement about them is fiction? Number 1, giraffes can run 35 miles per hour. Number 2, giraffes sleep on their backs. Number 3, giraffes have tongues that are 20 inches long. Everyone vote. You won't find a giraffe stretched out on its back for a snooze. They actually sleep standing up. How cool is that? Thanks for playing Fact or Fiction. And here's a bonus fact for you. Something that's absolutely, positively, no questions about it, true all the time. God is real. That is a fact you can always count on.
So pretty cool, guys, right? Some interesting facts. A lot of those I didn't know. Did you guys know those? No, I didn't either. Now, there was one other thing that God did for Moses to help him out in this situation and to give some more evidence, because Moses was like, hey, who am I going to say sent me? When the Israelites are like, what are you doing here? Why are you rescuing us? God gave Moses this, and it was a name to prove and to show that God is the same all the time. And remember talking about that a couple weeks ago, guys, that he is the same everywhere, no matter what. Exodus 3, verse 14, it says this. God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. So when they ask Moses, who sent you? He's going to say, I am. And that is God. And that's the name that God shows that he is always the same. He's the same God that was there for Moses the same God that's there for us today, guys. It's a name that shows that he never changes. He's always there. So we can pay attention to him and how he is real as we listen for him in our everyday life, right? As we work alongside him, and as we look for him all around us and listen to him as we pray. God is real.